Thursday, baby. 1 day away. Actually, technically 2 days away, but we got some good football on tonight.
We have a bunch of games on tonight.
Battle
TCU,
for the
Texas
belt.
Tech.
Sunbelt, Troy.
Who cares, dude? Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
26.
Look at
The
him.
big 2-6, huh?
2-6
No.
again this
Finally
year.
in the 40s.
This is the kid's birthday, y'all.
In reality, it's level 34. We don't, after, once I turned 30, we stopped doing birthdays. We started doing levels. You look at it like levels, I'm leveling up. 34
You're-
this year.
You're 20.
30.
You're more than 25% through the map.
No,
See, I don't like that. I don't like to look at it.
No, who
like
you fighting
that.
this year?
God, maybe Dabo.
You know who you're fighting by the percentage.
I don't know. We're gonna find out
You
here
from
pretty
Spartanburg?
soon. Well, I guess you either got to fight Dabo or Tyler from Spartanburg. They're on two sides. It's amazing how it's worked out. But speaking about working out, the Rangers win their first ever World Series. A lot of people are saying it's because of David Cohn's fanship, whatever that word is.
Yeah.
Dabo Swinney stands by his response to an angry fan, and we're going to break down our Week 9 NFL Power Rankings with your help. I'm Jake Crane. It's a thirsty Thursday, but we always drink it in here at Crane & Company. Now, I had planned on coming in here and starting off the show talking about, Dabo Swinney's comments, kind of the way they've stacked up over the last couple weeks, and how really the narrative around Clemson has nothing to do with what's, going on the field and it's what Dabo's saying off the field. But, driving into work this morning, I wanted to make sure and take some time, with it being my birthday, level up day, whatever you want to call it, to say thank you to you guys. And, we haven't been doing sports media that long. I mean, we're less than really 4 years in it. And we're sitting here in this beautiful studio. We've been able to work with Colin Cowherd. And then in the middle of renegotiating that, the Daily Wire reached out and we're excited to come over here. But I want to make sure, you see us every day and we talk every day and give our opinions and love doing it, love covering sports. I can't imagine doing anything else now. After doing this, but without you guys, there truly is no us. And we're still growing. We want to be the biggest sports show we possibly could be. And with your help and you guys keep spreading the word, we hope to achieve that. But I want to make sure and take some time to say thank you to you guys because, again, without you, there is no us. And to be honest with you, we love sports for sports. We don't care, what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who you love. We just want to make sure there's a place that when you grew up watching sports shows like the way we did, when you'd watch those reruns of SportsCenter, twice before you went to school, or, I remember watching it, before I went to bed, and then baseball tonight. It was just really about sports. And it seems that, sports today is being used as just another tool to try and divide people. And look, you can agree with what I think about who's going to win this game, or if they need to, start, run a more gap scheme than zone scheme, or not. But I want you guys to know that we really do appreciate you, and we just want to give you guys a sports show that you can turn on and not feel, cornered about in certain things or have to believe a certain way. We just want you to enjoy sports the way that we do, and we're just very fortunate to do this. And I wanted to make sure on this day to say thank you guys. This is the first time you've ever heard us, the first time you've ever watched us. We think you're going to like, what you hear, whether you agree with the schematics of it or the semantics of it or not. We're just very thankful to be here, and without you guys, that would be impossible. So I just wanted to
Thank you, Jake.
Oh, thank you.
Building something special, man.
For sure. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I was in coaching for a while and had some personal stuff happen, obviously, with my father, and was lost for a long time and was in the coaching world and was moving around. And then, COVID hit and went back and started this. And to be honest with you, I'm still waiting to wake up from a coma, for them to tell me what truck hit me. But, the thing I learned that when I started this out, I wanted to be like, hey, I wanted to go from people to stop thinking about, because I grew up with a father that played in the NFL, celebrity in Auburn, basically. He used to get pulled over for speeding tickets and could talk his way out of it because, he was a great linebacker. I mean, I wanted to kind of change the narrative around our last name as something sad to something, like this, right?
Yeah.
Or something where people, it kind of elevated it. But as I've gone through this 3.5 years with you guys and the moves and stuff that we've made, I've learned it's not as much about that as it's as much about, doing something that you love. And, they say if you do something you love, you won't work a day in your life. Well, I absolutely love doing this. That's why I'm just, eternally grateful to everybody out there. Like I said, we're not the biggest yet. We want to be. We work as hard as anybody. We grind as hard as anybody. And it's going to work or it's not, but it won't be for a lack of trying. So I just want to make sure and tell everybody out there, regardless of who you voted for, whatever. No, we're at the Daily Wire, and some people just assume that we're not a conservative sports show. We're not a liberal sports show. We're not a Green Party sports show. We're a sports show, and we love doing it, and it's how, I'm able to provide for my growing family. You're able to provide for yours, and Blaine, you'll end up together with somebody at some point, I'm sure. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
It wasn't your birthday.
What? If it was
no, it's
birthday,
the minute we go out of here, it's like my car will be on fire.
No, it's awesome. I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Oh, dude, well, it's just great.
Yeah, it's like a rekindling of sports for me. I mean, the last time I walked out of that Michigan football building, a loss to the Buckeyes, actually, it's like, man, I don't play football anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I did that my whole life. I don't play football anymore. And my path was different than yours, obviously, but to be able to, be a part of something like this and use all that knowledge. I mean, I spent so many times in these meetings to be able to do these, huddle up segments or whatever when we're talking about ball. It's like, man, I spent too much time not to put it to use.
Well, it's like I said, why am I going to learn Japanese if I'm never going to Japan?
That's where you
know
go.
what I'm saying? I want to be able to use it. But no, I want to make sure and take some time to thank you guys out there in the Trust Tree and the Booster Club. Like I said, if you're just now hearing about us, check us out. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's a little bit different than we're not going to sit here and scream at each other the whole time or plan out to scream at each other. We'll scream at each other every now and then. But I'll tell you this, we truly believe what we're arguing. There's no,
That's
hey,
a fact.
I want your opinion. You say this, you take this side. You get that at some other places. But we're going to tell you what we actually think, and we can defend that argument, even if you may disagree, which we love dissent here. And would love to take your calls. That's going to open up here at about 7:15 a.m. Central. But guys, my main point I wanted to make, kind of getting into Dabo Swinney, is number one, I've got a ton of respect for Dabo.
Mm-hmm.
What he's done at Clemson. When me growing up, Clemson, and the old term as well, it's Auburn with a lake. They hadn't done anything special. I wasn't alive during the Danny Ford days or anything like that. But he elevated them. Remember, that they went out on a limb hiring him as the head coach, never being a head coach before, being an assistant that worked his way up. And it was rocky the first couple of years. They were about to fire him if he didn't have a big year. Then all of a sudden, you have that big year. You turn it into this dynastical run. You elevate Clemson to the highest level that they've ever been at. And at this whole time, the whole time you were building it, you kept saying, be the best, right? You had signs in the facility, be the best. You kept hearing Dabo talk about the standard of excellence. We need to have a standard of excellence. If we're going to raise our profile, we have to raise our mindset. We have to raise our expectations. We can win championships at Clemson. Hey, Clemson fans, you ought to walk around and strut a little bit because we can build a monster here. Look what I'm doing right now. When he was on top, it was all about the standard of excellence. We're going to go out there and kick everybody's ass because we're not afraid of anybody here at Clemson. That's what I'm going to turn us into. And he did it. And he does deserve credit for that. But if you're going to talk like that while you're building it and while it's thriving and while everybody's patting you on the back and saying your way's the best way, when life evolves and the game evolves like it naturally does and you don't, and then it starts kind of falling off a little bit, which I think we can all agree 4-4 at Clemson is falling off compared to where they've been. You can't then on the back end say, oh, well, you know what? We're not perfect this year or we're not excellent this year, but you should give me a pass. You shouldn't worry. You shouldn't be upset, even though I've told you that the standard of excellence should be maintained around here because I built it up and this is who we are now. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you're going to talk that way when it's going great, you've got to hold that standard when it's going bad. And I'm not saying Dabo should be fired or that the Clemson fans that think that Clemson will never win another game aren't overreacting. They are. You do have to live in reality. But don't sit here and tell me that the standard is raised. We expect excellence every year. Look at these facilities. Look at who we are. Clemson is on the same level as Alabama and Georgia and all these other places. And then when you're 4-4, sit here and tell the fan base, hey, y'all shut up and be thankful for the memories that I've created. I don't think those two, I can't square those two things.
He already did the hard part. Forget hard part. You already did the impossible. You made Clemson football a dynasty. I mean, when I was growing up, I didn't think that much of Clemson football. And I'm not talking about you just won the ACC and made the college football playoff a couple years. You've gone toe-to-toe with Nick Saban and with Urban Meyer and these guys. You have 2 national championships. That's the hard part. To me, the easier part is just being restrained when someone from Spartanburg calls in and yells at you, or fans, the Clemson fan, what he is calling a vocal minority, which I agree with, are unappreciative of what you've built there. And I don't disagree with what he's saying. That's the hard part. I agree with his frustration. I just think the easy part is to rise above that when you're the head coach of Clemson.
Yeah, and Blaine, again, I'm not saying that people should not be thankful. Dabo's sitting here talking about, look at what we've done, look what we built. There's a time for that. You know what it's called? Retirement. In this day and age, where every day matters, when guys like Nick Saban and Kirby Smart and all these guys are able to be malleable when they're at the top. That's something we haven't seen from Dabo yet. We've seen Nick Saban be malleable at the top, hated the hurry up, no huddle, hated the up-tempo offense, complained about it for 2 years, 3 years in a row. When he realized it wasn't going to change, what did he do? He didn't go bury himself in the sand and say, I'm done with this sucks, I don't like the way the game's going. He evolved, went and got some of the best guys to be able to run it, and went and put an incredible offense together and won championships. You know what they asked? They asked Nick Saban after he won his national title, hey, Nick, what's the first thing you're going to do? You know what he said? I'm going recruiting. You're going to have time, Dabo, to look back on what you've built at Clemson. That's when you're done. But you let the fans sip from the cup, right? We talk about it all the time. You let those fans taste filet mignon. They're not going back to bologna. They don't want bologna. You told them you're going to do nothing but give them filet mignon. So don't be shocked, or don't be just when you don't give them filet mignon and they're pissed off about eating Spam and egg.
Well, yeah, they can understand being pissed off, but Clemson fans, I go and tell you this right now, the grass isn't greener on the other side all the time. You better remember what this man did for you and who you were before this man come. Trust me, as an Auburn fan, I was waiting to play you on the Chick-fil-A Bowl at the end of every damn year. All right, and that's nothing special.
Yeah, but you do that at the end.
Yeah, I know, but if my thing is this, I don't think Dabo is adapting to the times, right? Some species die out because they don't know how to adapt, right? What do the great ones do? They adapt. Saban, Kirby, and everyone wants to sit here and talk about that offensive scheme. Look, the reason Dabo won all these national championships because they didn't have some phenomenal offensive scheme. Players win you games, all right? That's what you can come out here in the I formation and roll through teams if you got the right guys. Trust it. Go back to Bama as I watched their third-string running back score Vandy, who was Brian Robinson Jr. All right, if you have those problems, it's great. But to me, Dabo won. Not everybody's opinions matter. All right, they don't. They're fans. It's short for fanatical, okay? Sometimes you just got to take one on the chin and know who you are. 2, doesn't he just seem like a Karen a little bit? Right? Like, oh, God, those kids are too loud outside. Oh, why are these certain commercials on TV? He's like trying not to werewolf every second, but he's slowly just getting pissed off about every little thing, man. You're having a bad season. It happens, bro. It happens. Trust me. You'll get past it. You'll be better. The real thing is let's talk about that transfer portal. All right? You're going to have to be a little bit different to look on that. Let's talk about NIL. We've got to start spending a little bit more money because the schools around you are throwing bread at kids, and you're not throwing them out the same amount, and those kids are going to different schools. So there's a lot of things you need to change before you worry about some probably 5'8", 300-pound kid sitting on his couch eating Cheetos in his shorts and care about his opinion.
Yeah, look, again, it's very hard to win here, but the minute you start embracing and saying, oh, woe is me, oh, it's okay that we're not doing as great as what we normally do, you are falling further behind Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, Georgia. I can go down the list, Oregon, because these other guys, it never stops. That's what makes it tough. It's the hardest part is not arriving. It's thriving once you're there and surviving once you're there. That's the hardest part. Climbing up the mountain, everybody is hungry. But when you get to the top of the mountain and you start looking down, can you maintain that hunger? That's what's been so impressive about Nick Saban, right? We see guys that get to the top, win one, win two, that's it, right? Don't do anything else past that. But Nick Saban, has been able to continue to win and continue to win, and Dabo's won a lot, and I don't think he's done winning. But at some point, you can't sit here and go revisit it and say, oh, well, guys, all that stuff I said earlier, the standard of excellence, that only mattered when we were building it up. That only mattered when I had Deshaun Watson. That only mattered when I had Trevor Lawrence. That only mattered when I had T. Higgins and ETN and all these guys. No, no, no. Again, you gave them the filet mignon. You gave it to them. You can't turn around and take it away and say, all right, here you go, boys. Here's some old meat. Here's some scraps. Y'all better be happy with it because it's the truth.
Sometimes starvation good, though, if you're a leader?
No.
Sometimes it
Not
is.
if you want to stay in power.
It cripples the willing, right? It makes them more supportive. We watched it yesterday.
You're a monster.
We watched it yesterday. It's a real thing.
You're a monster.
Stalin
I've been watching How to Be a Tyrant on Netflix.
Kim Jong-un did it.
Speaking about tyrants, let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Totally Bogus. Hashtag Ask Cranico. What's up, brother? Does Dabo stay at Clemson for his tenure as a coach? Or does he end up at Bama with Saban like all the other coordinators?
No, look, Dabo's going to end at Clemson, whether that's him being done with coaching or him, getting it back going where it was. Dabo Swinney's not going to be assistant anywhere else.
He's going to go be the head coach at Alabama.
There's certain markers. I don't think he's replacing.
He's going home. Mama's going to call. He won a championship there as a player.
Did
they ever get that gorilla who escaped the zoo and
punch you in the eye?
The search most definitely continues. That's where he played ball. He's going home, boys. Just wait till Nick Saban returns.
All right, let's go to Sasha. Is Dabo just saying this so that people don't criticize the players and that they decide to transfer from it?
No, look, they're going to criticize the players either way. I mean, look what happened to Cade Klubnik after he decided to keep that ball there in the goal line last weekend. Look, I think Dabo is doing this because I think he's saying how he feels. I don't think this is some facade or some made up strategy to try and take heat off the players. I think Dabo feels like he's like, all right, well, I built this up. I gave y'all this. I gave y'all a championship, all this stuff. We have bragging rights in the state of South Carolina when it comes to championships. Y'all should be grateful. I think he really was personally hurt because I think Dabo thrives off the Tylers from Spartanburg. I think he thinks of himself as I gave that guy, he's walking into work like Clemson. Winning championships, turn on the NFL, we're just running around making plays. I gave him bragging rights, therefore he should be thankful to me. That's what I really think.
All right, let's go to Jessa. What's up, brother? He says, is most of the frustration that people are talking about the kids like this? I feel like Dabo's the only coach that still views those young men as kids, which they are.
Yeah, I think
paid, dog.
That
kid stuff's over with.
NIL season, buddy. We can't do this. We can't keep.
You can still be a leader of young men, though. I think Jim Harbaugh does that for sure.
You can, but at some point, I'm supposed to. What a great world to live in. You get to do what you love. I pay you, and you can't be criticized. You know what they call that?
Well, hold on now. There was never off limits to criticize football players.
No, but I'm talking about getting upset about it. Like Dabo getting upset now, with what Deion said the other day. Deion saying, I may need a couple new offensive linemen. Well, again, there's two sides to the business. I think it's a great lesson for young people. You want to get in the business world? You want to start getting paid? Guess what? There's another door that opens, and the expectations and you providing results that we're happy with, that's part of the real world. I think we need more of that with you.
Well, again, I don't know. I don't know what kind of college football everyone else was playing. That's how it was when I was playing college football. But I didn't have the benefit of the other side of also then getting the money aspect of it. It was still very much a business. I mean, I guess the scholarships were in place, which they still are to this day. But I think a lot of this spills over from the criticism Dabo Swinney has gotten the last couple years, even though he had 10-win seasons. See, if he wasn't getting criticized then, I don't think this would be coming out of nowhere. These guys on the media come out and say, oh, well, Dabo Swinney's done the first time he's lost a game or has a 10-win season
and that's
goes
crazy.
To a bowl game. That's what's been wild. This is different, though. This is 4-4. We hadn't really seen this from them.
That's my whole point. If they were 7-1 right now and Dabo came out and said that, oh, you're gonna sit here and cry about one loss, whatever. I get him talking about the 10-2 thing. Y'all are upset about 10-2. I get that. You want to know why? Because that's reality. That's real. But you're 4-4. This isn't.
I just worry about the talent drop off.
Well, that's his biggest problem.
I haven't seen a talent
obvious.
drop off like this from a team in a long time, man. The only thing closest to it was maybe LSU's defense. LSU's you used to watch these Alabama games. They used to be 6-9. Right? LSU used to have guys running. LSU's defense is bad. I mean, you have two good players technically. I mean, you look at the offense for Clemson. I mean, you got Shipley. who's going to be maybe a backup in the NFL. We'll see. But other than that, who you got?
Well, it's kind of like the no soup for you Seinfeld episode. It's like Dabo went in there and pissed off the guy that made the soup. Like, no, you better go in there and start figuring out how to rekindle that relationship so you can get you some soup. Because I'm watching the soup you're eating. That's not soup. That's porridge. Goldilocks is spitting on that. Oliver Twist is pouring it out.
Who was the defensive coordinator for that dynasty run that he had?
Brent Venables.
Who was
year after year
Tony
after
Elliott.
year and didn't leave.
It's a big deal,
Brent
David.
Venables, the head coach.
But I thought their
Oklahoma.
defenses looked okay.
Yeah, and I'm
year.
not saying that's a problem. I'm just saying it's something to consider when you have that long-standing relationship as your defensive coordinator and he leaves.
I agree. I don't think enough people are talking about that, honestly. All right, one more.
Let's go to Adam Robinson. What's up, brother? Hashtag Ask Cranico. What does it take for Dabo to be on that hot seat?
I think it takes 3 years of mediocrity and lower trajectory.
How about a losing season first?
Like but again, it's a double-edged sword, but it's almost like a good thing. Like, wouldn't you rather have those great times, and then if it doesn't work out, eventually it stops for everybody, right? Regardless of how much success you've had, eventually it kind of not falls off a cliff, but it kind of goes downhill at some point, right? It happens to everybody. You get done at some point. But I would much rather have gotten to the top of the mountain, especially a couple times, to at least see what it's like, than never get there. So it's, again, I think the standard's so high at Clemson now, it would take 2 to 3 seasons of mediocrity, or 2 seasons of mediocrity, and then 1 just awful season.
Well, Clemson fans should be forever grateful.
They should. Nobody's saying that.
Y'all should build a statue of this man on campus.
They will. And you should put Dabo on the raft, and when he gets old enough, like they used to do back in the day, just, hey, you did great. We love you. You're a great leader. Here, get on the raft.
Got harps and flutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the arms of
Again, that grass might not be greener. At USC, Notre Dame.
Well, it's not, but I mean, Dabo's not going to be 100 years old on the sideline. Like,
he might just wave and say, hey, I'll be in Tuscaloosa.
He's going to be
I'll
selling
be in
fireworks
Tuscaloosa. See y'all.
A&M? How about A&M?
Stop.
Never.
Stop. All right, David, we're gonna get into some of the top college football matchups here we've been talking about all week, but we're going to talk about the top of things, or the gold standard, or the standard of excellence. When it comes to coffee, it's Black Rifle. All right, we all know that. That's not even an argument. All right, if you haven't tried it, guess what? We've got a great deal for you. Even if you don't always have time to brew coffee the traditional way, Black Rifle Coffee has ready-to-drink cans. They're perfect for people who are running an up-tempo offense in their life. It's a veteran-founded coffee company operated by principled men and women who honor those who protect, defend, and support our country. And with every purchase you make, they give back. So save money and drink America's coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER at checkout. It's blackriflecoffee.com. Use that promo code BOOSTER at checkout, and you get 10% off your one-time purchase or first coffee club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Promo code BOOSTER. You get that 10% off, and you can also find Black Rifle Coffee in grocery and convenience stores near you. But we all know you want to go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use that promo code BOOSTER because it helps everybody out. Tomorrow, we unveil our new merch that's super duper cool, and you're definitely going to want to buy 100%. It makes a great Christmas present or Thanksgiving present. If you're down with that, we're going to put the link into the chat. It's a great way to support the show. We're really almost out of stuff in the gift shop, and we're going to replenish it. We want to know what you think about the new stuff we're putting in there, which we're going to unveil on Flaming Dragon Friday tomorrow. All right, David, what do we got?
All right, we got some big games tonight. Let's start with Texas Tech hosting TCU.
Really makes you want to take the over, huh?
I'm taking the over.
Even though you look back, you watch TCU get absolutely ran through by Kansas State, who is scary right now. Kansas State's operating and hitting on all cylinders. I think they beat them 41-3. You know, my first instinct is to sit here and say, all right, you know, we've seen TCU. They've had some injury struggles again this year. You kind of default to the home team. I don't love a side in this one. I do like the over, though. And I know right now some of the money's on the under at 59.5. I think this is going to be high scoring. I think this is going to be a fun Thursday night game. The weather, I believe, is going to be okay. It's not going to be frigid and freezing, I don't believe, like it's been in some of these MAC games, which, by the way, Scott Loeffler, you're dead to me. That's a story for another day. But, man, I think it's going to be up and down. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think this game actually goes into overtime. But give me Texas Tech and give me the over.
I agree with
both. I mean, who's the Q for Tech? Is it Jake Strong kid? Is that who's playing quarterback for Texas Tech?
For Texas Tech, I mean, they've gone back and forth ever since Shuck went down.
Because, I mean, God, you dropped 14 points against BYU. Yeah. It's not great. I'm not super excited by that. I think TCU's offense, I think it's going to be a phenomenal football game. What's the over-under?
59.5.
59.5. Oh, no. Look, I might be rolling with the under on this one, boys.
Really?
I really think so. I mean, look, TCU, you're coming up a performance. You dropped 3 points against Kansas State. Both these offenses didn't look great. I think they'll be a little bit better, but I don't think these offenses are phenomenal. I don't think these offenses are just running through everybody up-tempo, not like that. If Show was in the game, I mean, maybe it's a little bit different conversation the way they push the ball down the field, but this Jake Strong kid, he had 140 yards passing, didn't look great his last outing. I kind of like the under in this game, but I'm going to roll with TCU. I think they're the more complete team this year, but hey, we still love everything what they're doing up in Texas Tech.
Yeah, well, look,
it takes time.
Strong threw 3 picks. Really hurt him last game. If you can cut down on those turnovers, I think they can move the ball against this TCU defense. I love Taj Brooks in this game. I think that he went for over 100 last week against BYU. I think he breaks a couple big runs. I just think this is one of those weird high-scoring games, man.
Okay.
Where it's back and forth. You haven't had a full week to prepare, on defensively on Thursday. I got to look to make sure I'm not wrong here with the bye weeks, but you got to have it. I mean, BYU, looking at first year, they're having the most success, it seems like, of the new teams in the Big 12. You look everywhere else, everybody's got a losing record. They're 2-2 in the conference. BYU is 5-2. But Texas Tech playing TCU tonight, 3-5, 2-3 in the conference overall.
Duke hosting Wake Forest. Duke's minus 12.5 right now.
God, love the under in this one because I don't think Wake's going to be able to score. Mm-hmm. Mitch Griffith's just going to hold the ball the whole time. And I'm not talking about the slow read mesh RPO. I'm talking about him holding the ball too much in the pocket. Mike Elko, I think, I have a great plan. I know Riley Leonard. Riley looked healthier last week than I thought he was going to.
Me too.
Honestly, coming off that ankle. Yeah, I think a lot of that obviously has to do with what Louisville's doing. We talked about that yesterday. But give me Duke to cover the 12.5.
Yeah, look, I watched Florida State last week against Wake Forest, so I watched every play of that game. And I don't think Wake Forest is that good of a football team. I think they're back. I think Claiborne's a good piece. I don't think he's going to be good enough. And I think Duke's going to be a pissed-off football team after the performance they had against Louisville. Riley's good. I don't think he's 100%, obviously. I think he might be 70. He just doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. But I think Duke's defense is what steps up in this game. And Riley plays good enough to where they cover the 12.5. Like, look, the amount, I think Florida State had 6 sacks at halftime last week against Wake Forest. So give me Duke to cover, and I'd play it up a little bit, to be honest.
All right, we were talking about Clemson. They're hosting Notre Dame. At the beginning of the year, we thought this could be one of those college football playoff type games. Yeah. It's not going to be that, but it's still an interesting matchup because either of these teams could win. Notre Dame's been playing better since that blowout loss to Louisville. Who do you think's going to win this one?
Man, I know I feel like we're talking a ton about Clemson today, but we should. I mean, this feels like one of the games where neither offense is explosive enough and both defenses are good enough where it's going to be a one-score game either way. So when I look at Notre Dame, we've seen them go on the road and lose at Louisville, right? We did see them lose Ohio State at home. I look at this Clemson team, and everybody left them for dead after they lost against Florida State. They went on the road to Syracuse. I know Syracuse and Notre Dame are two totally different teams, but they answered the bell. I don't think this Clemson team is going to quit. I think they're going to rally around Dabo Swinney and this negativity. I think the culture's too good in there. They're too together to quit. The question is, can they put enough points on the board against a Notre Dame defense that has elevated itself athletically, in my opinion, at all positions, and be able to score enough points to win the game? I actually do like Clemson in this game. I think they find a way. I know people are down on Klubnik. Decided to keep the ball. He's made some decisions as he's growing as a quarterback. I know the skill position playing isn't fantastic, but I look at Notre Dame, I don't think their skill position is fantastic outside of Sam Hartman. There's not a ton of guys I look at on Notre Dame and say, oh my God, there's so much. The disparity and the gap in talent for Clemson isn't defensively at the skill position, it's offensively. Well, Notre Dame's offense isn't going to play Clemson's offense. Notre Dame's offense is going to play Clemson's defense, obviously, and vice versa. I think Clemson finds a way at home. Dabo doesn't fall down the hill when he's running. They're going to rub that rock. I think they hand Notre Dame their third loss.
All right. I like Notre Dame in this one. You break the tie.
I love Notre Dame in this one. I think this game's sitting at -3 last time I looked at it. The difference in this game is Sam Hartman. I mean, that's going to be the difference. Notre Dame, that's why you brought him in. You just come off a 58-7 win against Pittsburgh. You're playing your best football. And I don't know when, Cade Klubnik's still Cade Klubnik. He's been finding a way to mess it up all year, and I don't think that'll be the difference. And usually you look at a Clemson team, well, they'll out-athlete Notre Dame on the skill positions. That's what they do. Not this year. They don't have the guys. So the difference, one's going to be the line of scrimmage, which if I'm Notre Dame, let's play a game of how many times can I run it behind Joe Alt, right, with top 10 pick.
I don't know if that's a great, like, if you can't line up and run the ball against Louisville, and you can't line up and run the ball, like the way, we have to stop assuming that Notre Dame is this dominant run team that we thought they were. I've watched them get punked on multiple occasions when they had to have it. If you can't go to Louisville and run it against them, and you can't go to Duke and just run it down their throat with the type athletes that they have, how in the hell do you think you're going to go to Clemson and line up? Sam Hartman's going to have to beat Clemson with his arm. Not that Sam can't do it, but I think this is a lot more even matchup when it comes down to stylistically how these teams play, when it comes down to the skill position on offense. I don't think there's going to be a ton of explosive plays. I think both these teams are going to really try and develop the ground game to set up a play-action game, because I don't think Notre Dame can sit there in 10 personnel or 11 personnel and just throw it through Clemson. This game may be 17-14. It's maybe that type of game.
I mean, you had 160 yards rushing against Duke. You averaged 5.5 yards per carry.
How many points you score against Duke?
I mean, yeah, but that's different. You say you're not be able to run the ball. They almost had 200 yards rushing against an Ohio State
How many
team.
carries? Again, Ohio State's really good defensively.
28 carries.
Really good defensively. I'm not saying that Notre Dame won't have any success or a modicum of success running the ball. I don't think they're going to be able to go in there and have enough success running the ball to set up explosive plays. These drives are going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-play drives, and a lot of them are probably going to end in field goals, because both these front sevens, especially when you get in the red zone, they're shutting the city down against the run. I'm not saying you're wrong or that I don't think Notre Dame can win. That's not what I'm saying. I just think this game is going to be very tight, and from a stylistic standpoint, from a matchup standpoint with how these teams want to play, I think there's a lot of similarities, even though you have one young quarterback without a ton of experience, but he's gaining it, and then a guy who's been playing college football for 35 years in Sam Hartman. Could that be the difference, Sam Hartman at the end in his experience? You're damn right it could, for sure. But I don't think there's any chance of this being some sort of Notre Dame's just going to line up and bully Clemson in their own house.
No, Clemson's too good in the front seven. I'm not saying that, but I do think Notre Dame will have some success running the ball. One reason, because I think Clemson offense can't stay on the field, right? If their defense is on the field the entire game, Notre Dame starts to what? They're going to start leaning on you throughout the game.
I agree with that.
I can see that, but I can see Notre Dame having some success running the ball. You saw NC State having success running the ball.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so USC goes to Washington this week in a big matchup. Now, USC most likely out of the college football playoff with the 2 losses, but keep in mind that loss to Notre Dame is not a conference loss.
And USC is what to you, David?
Do what?
USC is what to you?
Oh, they've been dead to me.
They're dead to me.
Yeah. We're going to have a dead to me board.
We're going to have a dead to me board. But still in the Pac-12 conversation. Now, they go to Washington. They can still play spoiler throughout this thing. Who you guys going to take in this one?
Well, look, I'm going to take the over. I can promise you that. It was at 76.5. I'm looking.
That's ridiculous.
I'm looking it up. Isn't it funny how you don't even blink an eye? Yeah, it's still 76.5. And I'm going to take it. All right. So, I mean, again, I don't think you have to be some sort of savant to have a good idea of how this thing's going to go. Now, sometimes when you have two offenses that have a ton of capabilities, you say, hey, I'm taking the under. Like, that's a real thing to kind of go against it. Washington has a better defense than USC. I don't think that's any surprise. But USC is still really good on offense, and they're going to give up a ton of points to Washington. Here's what I think is the perfect, and I know we do keys to victory and stuff like that on Fridays, but which defense can get a couple turnovers? Who can steal a possession? Who's going to fumble a punt? I think this game's going to come down to a touchdown or less. I really believe that. If you look at Washington, they're not exactly blowing people out of the water that they should be. They kind of play up and down the competition. I expect that offense to really show up against USC, and it helps that USC with Alex Grinch is once again a Swiss cheese factory on defense. You made Cal look like, you know, the greatest offense, the greatest show on turf with Kurt Warner and all these guys running out there. I would not be shocked if this game was if this is a 55-52 game. I think USC is going to have a chance in it. I think they're going to score enough to have a chance in it. But I think Washington makes too many plays at the end, and I think the Washington defense creates a couple turnovers. I think Caleb Williams turns it over a couple times. I think they have a big special teams play. Give me Washington on the road in an absolute shootout, this giving USC 3 losses and vindicating what I keep saying about Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch.
Just think 41-35 wouldn't hit. It wouldn't hit.
What, you talking about halftime?
41-35 would not hit the over in this game.
I'm smashing the over.
I think Washington wins this game, and I think they win it by double digits.
Really?
I don't think USC is a good football team.
I'm not saying
I really don't think they do.
Great.
After what I just watched against Cal, if you're if you like watching good defense, you don't want to watch this game. It's going to be atrocious. But you got to think, right, that Washington, after even the Oregon performance, I know you gave up 33 to Oregon, but I think their defense played. If they play good enough, they can compete because their offense is that well with anybody in the nation, in my opinion, other than the Georgias and Michigan, who will just strangle them to death on a slow-paced game. But I like Washington. I think Penix has a big day, big Penix energy coming up, and I'll never bet for a guy who paints his nails and wants 15% of the Bears.
All right, Texas A&M goes to Oxford to play Ole Miss. Man, this could be an interesting one as well. Ole Miss still very much in the SEC West conversation.
Yeah, you better strap in for this one. Because a couple things going here. You said it, Ole Miss is still in it. They got that one loss at Alabama. I mean, you're top 10 in the college football playoff ranking that just came out, even though, again, the criteria is non-existent there. But if you're A&M and you're Jimbo Fisher, what's one way to kind of cure some of this? Oh, here we go again. That you're hearing the calls. Oh, we got the money. You go on the road and you beat a top 10 team. That'll make people start feeling good about A&M. That'll help the A&M fan base figure it out. And A&M's talented enough to do it. We know Ole Miss is a little bit better on defense than I thought they'd be this year. But with an experienced quarterback, not that Max Johnson's the best player in the SEC, but A&M's got enough pieces to be able to go in Oxford and score a lot of points. And when you look at that A&M front seven, make no mistake, Lane wants to run the ball. It's a run-to-pass offense. Don't fall for the trick of, Lane Kiffin wants to throw it 55 times. No, he doesn't. And if anybody can stop the run, it's those creatures running around the front seven for A&M. But where's been the bugaboo for them? It's been in the secondary all year. That's where they've gotten torched. Miami, right? Absolutely threw it around like it was nothing. Bama, they made Jalen Milroe look like Jalen Hurts, right? That's been where they have struggled it. That's been where A&M's had their problems. So do I think Lane can witch it up enough where Ole Miss can score enough points to win? I do, because I think at some point A&M, like they always do, is going to find a way, even if they go play a great first half, even if they go play a great first 2.5 quarters or 3 quarters, they're going to find a way on the road to lose the game.
I feel like every time we talk about A&M, it's just negative. It's just negative.
Well, always talk.
I wonder why.
It is. It's just bad. I feel like it's one of those commercials, and they're like, oh, for $10, you can help feed the poor here in Somalia. Every time we talk about A&M, it's never anything like, here we go, A&M. We're doing it again. But look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to believe in A&M to not mess it up when it really matters, because every time I watch, unless you're playing a high school offensive line against South Carolina, you find a way to blow it. I don't have anything against A&M other than their fans. Other than that, it's fun.
Other than their fans and their football program. And
other than your face, you look great.
Give me Ole Miss. Give me Lane Kiffin. Give me the dog on the sideline. Give me the Grove. Give me all those baddies running around that campus.
All right, next one up. World Series. Texas Rangers. First World Series championship. Clinched it in 5 games. Corey Seager, MVP.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, David.
My new adopted team.
I'm happy for you.
This feels great.
This is ridiculous.
Is it weird as a lifelong?
What happened with the Braves, David?
You know who I feel bad for?
Forced them to win it?
Inner conflict, for sure.
You know who I feel bad for? The Rangers fan that was 93 years old that died last year.
And he did.
They watched it.
And
he watched it.
I'm living vicariously. He's living vicariously through me right now.
No,
he's not. He's
yes,
dead.
he is.
Not.
He's living vicariously through me.
Yeah.
He actually hates you.
He's up there looking at it.
He's proud.
Waiting.
The Rangers
Biding
fan base
his
has grown
time.
now.
Yeah, he's on his Dabo Swinney stuff.
What a
Maybe
time
we
to
should
be
lose
alive,
a couple
man.
times to get guys like you off the bandwagon.
Well, that's
it's an incredible. It's almost like
not until next year.
It's almost like Ace. You know, just born into Michigan.
I don't want to talk about that kid. That kid's seen a Braves World Series and Michigan make 2 college football playoffs. I don't want to hear from him the rest of his life.
He's a Braves, Michigan, and Bama fan. Does it get any better?
What a great life.
Does it get any better than that?
What a great life.
Well,
what other kid? I mean, what, a Pats fan?
Apparently he's getting called a cheater at preschool, okay?
Well, I'm sure he watched enough Cranico, he can back it up.
He knows. For sure, we'll get to that. But a shutout yesterday.
Yeah.
5-0.
Well, look,
damn it, D-backs.
And I thought Evaldi was fantastic. I thought Zach Gallen was fantastic. I love the matchup. I love having 2 underdogs in the World Series. I tell you what, I'm really happy for Max Scherzer. Glad to see Scherzer, get to the top, and then you saw him and Garcia both have to be out for the rest of the World Series. 28 hours before the Rangers, basically won 2 straight to win it. I like the way they went about their business. Diamondbacks, hell of a year, incredibly. Obviously, you're going to be hurting today. you feel like you let a golden opportunity slip through your fingers on a magical run. Believe me, as a Braves fan, I kind of understand, even though we have done a lot of winning, I'm going to be honest. But, man, what a great ending. I wish it would have gone 7. I really do, because it just feels like the World Series should always go 7. But you got to be happy for the Rangers, and man, I bet Astros fans are pissed off.
It's just wild. I mean, that's one thing too. I mean, we talked about, can the Rangers actually hold on to that division lead down the stretch, or will they blow it? And they ended up having the same record, but lost the head-to-head to the Astros. We're like, oh, here we go, and they come back. They avenge that in the postseason, win the whole thing, win the World Series, and did so without Jacob deGrom.
I know.
I mean, Jacob deGrom was hurt. They had Jacob deGrom. Max Scherzer ends up going out. One of your best offensive players goes out, and you just finish.
Don't we see this a lot? Like the Braves, no Acuna, win the World Series.
Yep.
Sometimes that chip of not having that big dog, as crazy as it sounds, it can be a hell of a motivator, right? And doing it without deGrom, man, to be honest with you, I kind of forgot about that, Dave. It's been so long since I've seen a pitch. Can you imagine if they did?
No.
But see, like, maybe they wouldn't have won it.
That's wild.
That is butterfly effect, man. Butterfly effect. And they won it in style.
Won it in style, man. Good for the Rangers.
Very, very good. Happy for them. Happy for their fan base. Happy for that guy we met in Vegas that's a Rangers fan. But speaking about style, it's time to take your fall style to the next level. And we got calls opening up here in about 4 minutes, and we know there's going to be some style on those. But dressing for success, it can only help you look better and be more confident. You got to look good to play good. Why do you think every team that wears powder blue wins? Just, I don't know, ask the Titans. They rock the old powder blue. They're looking good, feeling good. Will Levis looks like Joe Montana out there.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana. I said Joe Montana. He's a quarterback, you idiot. But from business casual, dress shirts, camp shirts, and even blazers, Indochino offers a wide variety of options for every occasion. From the tailgate to the conference to the big meeting where you're hoping to sway enough people to get that promotion, they've got you covered. The ordering process is unbelievably easy. The suits that we got, they tailor it. It's custom to you. It's unbelievably efficient. They do a really good job. They've got great outerwear for this fall and this winter. They have an amazing range of styles with trench coats, wool, and even cashmere. It's got the word cash in it. You got to love it. So add fresh layers to your fall style with Indochino. Go to Indochino.com, Indochino, and use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, to get 10% off any purchase, $399 or more. And when you look at the products compared to the prices of other places, that is nothing, and you get money off. That's Indochino.com, promo code BOOSTER. Great Christmas gift for everybody out there. Ladies, if you're looking for something to give your husband, you're watching a sports show, number one, congratulations. Number two, go to Indochino.com, use that promo code. But all right, we're going to get off my lawn here in 1 second. I want to hop in the Booster Club quickly.
All right, so it's like a good trench coat on a Thursday. Let's go to Aiden Losh. Says, I still think my Tigers can win the World Series. I know the series is over and we didn't make the playoffs, but I believe.
The Hashini Tigers in Japan?
You're in there.
I think they're in there.
Yeah.
The Hashini Tigers are playing in Japan. There's one.
All right, let's go to Angelo DeRaymond with a $5 dono. Angelo, good to see you back in here, buddy. Welcome. Says, Blaine's ladder was a strikeout away from hitting and 3 away from making a lot of money. We'll be doing this all next year. The Rangers was a tough team to strike out, man. Every at bat, they're just up there. Nice quads.
Well, I always say
nice quality ABs every time they get up there, and it's just, it's tough. But I will be laddering. That brings me to Brad from Ads, who is dead to me. He'll be on the board tomorrow. I'm telling you, the ladder is the new wave. I'm not talking Tulane, but it's a new wave.
It is the green wave.
It's still a wave.
Yeah.
But is it the new wave?
Well, I will always say the most impressive thing I see in Major League Baseball is not the home runs, it's not the crazy plays made in the field, it's the pitches they take that they just spit on at 98 that's a little bit outside. That's the most impressive thing to me.
All right, let's go to World Skull, 88, $5 donation. Hey, thank you, sir. NCAA is about as useful as a marching band at a college. LA canceling their season due to a death on the team. I don't know if y'all saw this.
Do schools of the deaf have marching bands? No way, right?
I don't think so.
You know what? We're not going down this path.
Deaf people.
We're not going down this path.
Deaf people knew farts make noises.
Here we go.
See?
All right, let's get off my line. That's why we can't.
Really?
Let them.
Do y'all think they knew it made noises?
But then they found out. Get off my lawn.
Then they found out it makes noises, and then you figure out you've been farting.
This is
hear it your whole life.
This is a great time to move on to a segment that we.
The real question.
We hit every week.
No one wants to talk.
Speaking of birthdays, David's 93 years old, trapped in a middle-aged man's body, but kind of the younger side of middle age. He likes to tell people to get off his lawn. So, Cone, who are you meeting at an undisclosed place and having G off your L while nobody looks at you?
Paul Finebaum needs to get off my lawn. This week, Finebaum said he made the biggest mistake of his professional career by initially giving Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh the benefit of the doubt in wake of the recent advanced scouting allegation, which Finebaum went on to describe as disgusting. 3 decades plus covering the sport, and this is what disgusts Paul. Typically, I would pay no attention to Finebaum's habitual Harbaugh hatred, but a high-level propaganda procedure is underway here, and it requires further examination. See, Paul Finebaum works for ESPN, the company that keeps delivering these daily news nuggets, and they have a financial relationship with the college football playoff and nearly every conference except the Big Ten. So it behooves them to report negatively, not just on Harbaugh and Michigan, but the Big Ten as a whole, which was evident when Finebaum called for the conference to step in and stop this train. Notice he did not make the same demand of the NCAA, the organization that supposedly governs the sport. We used to have checks and balances between the media, the conferences, the postseason decision makers, but those days are gone. Now, I find it hard to believe that Jim Harbaugh, the guy many made fun of for being the aw-shucks, khaki and cleats coach who can't win the big game, is now somehow the biggest cheater in the sport after a few stellar seasons, but it certainly is possible. Just as it's possible, those pointing their fingers and yelling cheater are just shouting a word often echoed by losers. Either way, if Finebaum and others have their druthers and run Harbaugh back to the NFL or elsewhere, it will be a net negative for college football. We need more talented coaches at their alma maters investing time and energy at the collegiate level. And I'll say the same about Lane Kiffin, Deion Sanders, Urban Meyer, 3 guys I've criticized often because they're good for the game. So college football fans, be careful what you wish for. And Paul Finebaum, stay off my lawn.
Yeah, Paul, get off of it.
So you follow the money.
Follow the money.
Isn't it funny?
Follow the bouncing ball that has a cash sign.
This is disgusting when you work for a network that wants men and women's sports. Isn't it funny?
Yeah,
Isn't it hilarious?
Funny. I'll say, is the Big Ten the Vicky Valancourt of college football?
Oh, Mama's just trying to get.
Well, no, it's like it just reminds. It's you have obviously Fox that pushes for the Big Ten, but it just reminds me of the scene from The Waterboy when Vicky Valancourt goes over to the barbecue, and she's talking to Bobby Boucher's mom, and she's like, he's a grown man, he can be with whoever he wants, and Bobby Boucher's mom like, yeah, he can be with whoever he wants. Except you. That's what it just feels like with Jim Harbaugh and Michigan and the Big Ten in general.
Men are supposed to have stinky feet.
Yeah.
That's his bed. That's his bed sheets from last week.
Yeah. Mama,
Look,
please.
It's not.
No. Please, just like, sorry, ladies, I'm gonna go.
I don't know. Look, I'm not the biggest Paul Finebaum fan, and I know like he has made this shtick about sort of like Stephen A. Smith with the Cowboys. Like he this habitual Harbaugh hatred, I think, is real. That's why it actually surprised me more when he defended him initially when the rumors were that Jim Harbaugh was going to be leaving Michigan after the season. Then all of a sudden, when it switched to no, they're actually trying to expedite an extension for him, all of a sudden, ESPN, it wasn't just Finebaum yesterday, Stephen A. Smith, others you saw, the word came down on high from ESPN executives. Do y'all not remember we don't have a financial relationship with the Big Ten? And all of them immediately just had to put out these press releases.
I just feel like the Jim Harbaugh, like it's again, I hate to, I use movie references all the time, but I think it's a great way to communicate. Like, I just feel like watching him now that he's winning, it's almost like on The Usual Suspects at the end. When boy's like, when Kevin Spacey.
You like that movie?
Yeah, I think it's a great movie. At the end, he's like, when he's like walking out. No, he's walking out and he's like, pigeon-toed and looks like he's still, and then all of a sudden he starts walking normal.
Kaiser Sose?
That's Jim Harbaugh. Like Jim Harbaugh's like good at college, like, yo, we don't.
He's goofy.
He's got,
he's scream.
No, but like but at the end he's like,
and he figure out he
all of a sudden
flicks his hair back.
Yeah, gets in the Corvette,
walks out with a pimp walk because he won the day. Jim's playing the long game here, fellas.
You think so?
Look, some people play checkers. and some people wear khakis and cleats.
Why you want to run this guy back to the NFL? I don't get it. You really want to give the National Football League more of our good coaches? Like,
I think you explained it.
Look, and if anyone's confused out there, just to make it simpler, Jim Harbaugh is Vicky Valancourt, he is Doofy, and he is Kaiser Soze.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can make it
combined together.
Clear.
Yeah.
Optimus
How can
Prime.
I explain this better?
It can't be more clear.
But in the war of ESPN versus Fox, right? Everybody basically versus the Big Ten. How do you take out an army? Well, get rid of a couple of their top generals.
And hey, and it's not just ESPN towards the Big Ten. I mean, we see other guys from Fox who just go after
Look at Notre Dame and NBC. They're over there hanging out. It's like the news team, like the battle on Anchorman.
But, and I made a bunch of calls yesterday before I wrote this because I wanted to make sure I had all my facts straight. And the word was, I was told, hey, when all the rumors and the allegations started coming out about Cam Newton and Auburn right in the middle of the season, which I think Tim Brando is really onto something. These things start to happen in the middle of the year because the NCAA wants to make college football look bad and make it look chaotic
on their way out.
So they can make college basketball, which they still control the Final Four, look good.
Dirty,
but he said, you know what Auburn did in the SEC, Mike Slive with the SEC commissioner then did when the allegations came out from Cam Newton and Auburn? Nothing. They did nothing. They didn't meet with the NCAA. They didn't open their mouth. They just went on, won all the games, won the championship, and said, only thing that y'all can do is vacate wins, which never happened.
Well, guess what? I remember watching it. So unless Agent J is going to show up at my house and neuralize me, I remember watching West Byram kick that field goal to beat Oregon in the Natty.
I remember being down 21 at halftime in the Iron Bowl. I was at an ESPN 7-on-7. And mostly everyone on my teammates were Alabama fans, including my coaches. So, right when it updated, everyone's ragging on me. Who's laughing now?
Yeah. You remember they said we were idiots for playing with those toy cars? Yeah. Who's a dummy now? That's exactly right. All right. Let's get to calls. You ready?
Oh, calls. Let's
go NFL. NFL, 21. So we got 9 minutes till calls.
9 minutes till calls.
So y'all want to do an NFL power rankings?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's get it.
I'm jumping the gun over here.
That's my birthday. Hey, it's your birthday. You can do no wrong.
You can cry if you want to.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that, but.
All right, y'all want me to kick it off?
Start it.
God, man. I'm going with Philly. Going with the Philadelphia Eagles as being the best team in the NFL right now. I mean, didn't look great against the Commanders, but hell, a win's a win is a win. Jalen Hurts' offense is phenomenal. Your defense just got better. You brought over Bayard from the Titans. It's all pro safety. We talked about that yesterday. So I think they're going to clean up the game a little bit. It's one of the best running games. A.J. Brown, top 5 receiver. One of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And I think your defense, from a depth standpoint on the D-line, is only going to get healthier and healthier. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles, the Jalen Hurts, who's an Oklahoma grad, number 1 in the NFL. We'll stick for Bama fans. Right
now. I'm going to go the Chiefs number 2.
I like that.
Just because, what they did last year with the roster they had, I know some people weren't exactly thrilled about, the trade deadline and them not making a ton of moves to try and continue to elevate that roster. I know some people wanted to see some more wide receivers. You're hearing a little talk about Travis Kelce going to the World Series game, whatever. Regardless of the Taylor Swift thing, you got Patrick Mahomes. I love the combination of him and Pacheco. Defensively, I think they're good enough, especially with Spags still there. Give me the Chiefs number 2.
I like that pick. The 49ers, 3 straight losses now. They're 5-3, not even leading the division. We had talked about them being the best team in football, and I still think that they are going to be fine down the stretch. But the way we've been doing these power rankings, I can't pick them, especially when we have several 6-2 teams out here, at least 3. To me right now, at 3, it comes down to the Baltimore Ravens and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go with the Jaguars with 5 straight wins. I'm going to go with them.
Love it. Hey, scream it from a mountain, David.
5 straight wins, but guess what? Guess who they have next? They get the 49ers next.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
So we get to find out a lot more then.
I got 4, correct?
Yes.
Man, I think this team, you can have a legitimate argument for them being the best team in the NFL, and that's the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, guess who just came back last week and almost had a pick 6? It's Jalen Ramsey. You got Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, 2 of the best corners in NFL on the same side. Your defensive line, you got Christian Wilkins, who's an absolute problem. You got 2 good backers, and you flip to the offensive side. I mean, Tyreek Hill, who's on pace to break the receiving yards record in the NFL this year. You have Jalen Waddle, who's getting healthy, and you just got pieces everywhere. Tua is looking great, and he needs to stop turning the ball over. He's kind of flashing back to Tua sometimes, which you can't have, especially late in the season. So give me the Miami Dolphins, man. And I think they're only going to start getting better.
Both those losses are on the road, but does it worry you at all that both those losses are blowouts?
No, I think a full healthy Dolphins defense will be the difference. I think locking down both sides of the field and being able to bring a safety in, because they've been getting beat running the ball is what teams have been doing. To drop that safety down in the box is going to help a lot.
Give me the Detroit Lions. Give me the Lions. I know they got absolutely destroyed by the Ravens, who played as good as they possibly could. I thought Baltimore did. I know the Lions were able to win with a couple turnovers, with not playing clean last week. But I like the way this team's made up. I know they're a little bit beat up on the defensive side, but I think as this year goes, you know what you're going to get from Jared Goff. Looks like they are getting a little bit healthier on offense, even though David Montgomery's beat up. Give me the Lions.
All right, well, then I'll go Ravens here, because the Ravens have the same record as the Lions, plus that 38-6 win over them. And they just continue to get better each week, which every championship team needs to do. So I'll go with the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, give me the San Francisco 49ers, right? I mean, I know they had a bad couple of weeks, but how really healthy are you? And you just added what? You just added Chase Young to the mix. So you have Chase Young, Bosa, and Armstead.
You didn't get worse.
Up front. And you obviously have. I think Greenlaw is really underrated as a football player. I think he's one of the best linebackers in the league. Brock Purdy has to start playing better. Debo Samuel's been out. Trent Williams has been banged up. So I think a fully healthy 49ers team is as good as anybody in the NFL. So I'm not quitting on the 49ers yet. It's a long season to go.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills next at 8. Look, and they let me down in my Survivor League. I know they've been kind of up and down. People have been disappointed with their inconsistency, especially going on the road. I just think, again, you look at the experience of Josh Allen, you look at Stephon Diggs, you look at Kincaid coming on. I know Dawson Knox has been beat up. James Cook is a good back. They've just got to be able to put it together and start playing complementary football. I think the Bills are good enough when they start playing complementary football to really have a chance to make a run at this thing. We'll see Josh Allen with the turnover situation, how that kind of unfolds at the end of this year, not having Dabo, who's not exactly having the time of his life over in New York right now. It's a fire sale, but give me the Bills at 8.
All right, so I have 9 before the Booster Club makes the 10th pick. I think the Seahawks could make a case right here, but I'll go with the Dallas Cowboys at 5-2. 2 back-to-back impressive wins at the Chargers and against the Rams ever since that blowout loss they had to the 49ers. The CeeDee Lamb connection from Dak Prescott looked really great last weekend. I'm wondering if that's something that we're going to see throughout the rest of the season. I had him on my fantasy team last year, CeeDee Lamb, and he put up a lot of points. I like the Cowboys here. It's just the question is always what kind of playoff run can be made.
Well, they got Dak, so I don't trust it. It's got to be the Seahawks, right?
I think you can make a legitimate argument for the Seahawks are the Bengals. The Bengals,
and they're last in their division.
Joey Shiesty's starting to come along a little bit.
He was perfect last week.
Like he's basically Jon Snow, and you got to think.
Last but 4.
They're playing the Bengals.
I know
they play the Bengals. They play the Bills. I think for Sunday Night Football. You remember last time the Bengals and the Bills played the whole DeMar Hamlin situation. So we'll get into that. So I think we go. Yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go Seahawks.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna go
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
It's gotta be the Seahawks
at 10.
Right
Chad, I think you're right. I don't think you're wrong on that.
Well, look at this for the Bengals. So they just beat the 49ers, right? They get the Bills next, like you said. That'd be 2 very impressive back-to-back wins. Then you get the Texans. That win, if you beat them, that's starting to look like a better win. And then you go to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals schedule.
Yeah, but like if you ever want to be peaking or somewhat peaking, now's the time where you want to be peaking. Well, Joey looks healthy, right? Like you can see him running around against the 49ers in the pocket.
Totally different.
Like his calf looks like it's finally back. He finally looks like Joey B, and he's playing the game on with Jamar Chase a lot, and that's always a winning recipe.
Yeah, they definitely have the pieces too. But no, I agree. So we'll put the Seahawks at 10. I think that power ranking's right on. I mean, there's a couple places you can argue, some differences there, but I think that's right on.
Love it.
Top 10 in college football. Absolutely love it.
All right. David. Y'all want callers?
Let's do it.
Because Jack's on the line in Mobile.
Oh, Jack.
Welcome back.
I, for one, want to hear what he has to say. What's up, Jack?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, gosh.
What's up, pup?
So, David, I have a reprieve for the situation for you in case it goes completely sideways at Michigan.
Hit me.
There is an SEC offensive coordinator that's been a head coach before that may not have a job at the end of this season, and I think that man can save the Michigan program.
Bobby
His name is Bobby P.
What do you think, David? Might as well, if you're going downhill, go downhill all the way, dog. Get him a motorcycle. Let's get weird.
Hashtag pass. Hashtag pass.
Like pass, like you want him to come in and do the passing game?
No. Hashtag skip over that to the next one.
Look, he's one motorcycle trip away, dog.
Look, y'all got a volleyball team?
Hey, Jack. Hey, did I see you in a bar in Mobile during Mardi Gras?
Unfortunately, no, because I can't stand Mardi Gras. Bad memories.
Okay.
Look, you're not the only
Sound
one.
the same. Different guy.
So you think the Bobby Petrino experiment in Texas A&M, this is a one and done season?
I think Jimbo's going to be gone, and they're going to make one phone call to Cliff Kingsbury and bring back the magic that brought Giant football to A&M.
Stop.
Oh,
Cliff.
Cliff.
That would be an A&M thing to do. That would be such an A. What are they just going to call like 1-800-Thailand to get him just to fly back?
Look, there's one guy they need to call. All right, before the Spartans take him.
Urban.
Old Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
That feels right. Something just feels right.
I could see him in those colors, dude. I could see him with those colors.
Like it
before
just
the game,
feels just
standing on the sidelines.
Here's a hint: he'd win.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd win. A&M would they would love it. They would love it.
Great call.
Great call, Jack. Go ahead.
I also got Kiffin going to Alabama. You don't spend $18 million on a retirement home and not use it for another year.
Well, like I'm having trouble, and this is what I tell Alabama fans, because it's very popular. Like, oh, yep, Lane Kiffin's going to be next. I don't know how you go if you're Nick Saban, who is going to choose who replaces him. How you go from running something like the military to running it like a frat house. I don't know if Nick Saban is going to let Van Wilder it's like even Billy Madison's dad made him go back through school before he was going to give him like all the hotel business. I'd see like Nick Saban's like Lane Kiffin's out there hanging with Norm Macdonald and them by the pool. You know, I just don't feel like it's going to go that way. I think it's Bill O'Brien or possibly Dan Lanning.
But who does Nick Saban want to pick? I mean, that's who's his successor?
Well, the thing is, does Nick want his successor to go in there and ball like him, or maybe
no one's ever going to ball like him?
Sabatron 3000.
Yeah, that's where it's going.
It
AI.
Yeah.
AI. It's going to be like R2-D2 with Saban's face on it. He's going to be like, damn it, Tommy, run the ball.
Appreciate it.
Oh, good call, dude. 251, man.
That's a really good call. Thanks, man. All right, let's go to Kirk up in Canada. Kirk, how you doing?
Yeah, Kirk, let's talk about it.
Hey, do us all a favor and don't do that R2-D2 AI thing ever again, please. Thank you.
Well, that was a great impression, Kirk. Just like you guys, you guys are doing impression of being a free up there in Canada.
Oh, ouch. Yeah,
Kirk said, ouch.
Well, hey, one of my favorite preachers says, if you can't say amen, you better say ouch. But
yeah.
Anyway, gentlemen,
you okay?
I love Lil Wayne.
Research. I did a little research on that poor man that lost his life on the hockey rink the other day. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That, I'm telling you, gentlemen, I've watched hockey for a little over 40 years. The only time you ever see anything like that is when you're trying to hurt somebody. And
it just looked, man, that did. And I'm not saying he tried to kill him, Kirk. I'm not saying he tried to kill him. I think he tried to hurt him, and he happened to kill him. And there's a word for that.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking the word scumbag.
Well, yeah, it's also called manslaughter.
Oh, manslaughter. Yeah. Well, I really, truly, strongly believe that a jury of 12 needs to look at this closer because, I was listening to this video of a guy who played and actually played against this guy, and he said, truthfully, nobody who knows this guy that did it is shocked. Like, if anybody was going to take a man's life, it was going to be this guy. And anyway, he said, when you're cutting across the middle like that, and you're beat, 99% of players will just, try and change direction, and they're going to lose a half step, and they're going to create a scoring opportunity for the offensive guy, of course. But you don't try to. The other option is the 1% of the players, which will actually try to hurt the guy. And this guy is, unfortunately, part of the 1%.
Well, even if you take him out, like we're used to seeing in hockey across the middle, that's one thing. All right, you lowered your shoulder into me. You knocked me on my ass. All right, it's a penalty, whatever. But sticking a blade up to somebody's face, that's a totally just unnecessary move.
I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to prove it in court. I mean, there's no way.
Hockey players know that you're always at all times responsible for your stick, and you're always at all times responsible for your blades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so by him sticking it up there, I agree. I don't think he started that shift saying, "Boy, with any luck, I'll kill a man in the next 30 seconds." I don't think that was. But I do believe when he saw he was beat and he stuck that leg out, I do believe he had every intention of hurting him. Unfortunately, he did far worse than hurt him, and it's really sad. It's pretty.
I feel like a lot of people have intentions of hurting people in a lot of sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it's
that's where the question comes with the assumption of the risk.
Yeah, right. It's like a natural thing sometimes.
Kirk, what's going to happen with these neck guards they're talking about putting in place?
Well, Bettman's already said he's not gonna mandate it. It's already mandated in junior hockey. In junior hockey, you must wear them, but NHL, you don't have to.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. I just feel so bad for that kid's family. Like most hockey players, the parents come and watch. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine watching your son bleed out on the ice? That's just
no.
That was one of the saddest stories I can remember.
If you're the family, can you do anything against the NHL?
I don't know what like the contract that you sign or like what because like the IHL, it's not.
They gotta fix something, man. But like, you're running around with knives on your feet. Like you got to fix something.
It's only happened once before, and it was a total accident. Everybody knows it was an accident. This wasn't an accident. That's the hard part for me. Like this kid will obviously never ever play another shift in any hockey league ever.
No,
and if he does, then somebody needs to get fired.
Well, I think the argument for neck guards is, all right, if it wasn't something accidental, like if it was something you were intentionally trying to hurt somebody, do we need to add a preventative? Like, how many times are people going to actually try and do that? Like, if it's something that happened on a whim or, an instance where you're like, hey, maybe we need to start putting helmets on these guys. To me, it's like the DeMar Hamlin thing saying, oh, well, he got hit in a certain spot. Well, now we have to use flags, or now you have to wear an extra thing of pads. This was an intentional action, not to try and kill somebody, in my opinion, but to try and hurt somebody that 99.9999% of the other hockey players would never try. And now that it's happened and somebody's died, to me, I think that's why you've got to make an example out of this and something, it needs to be handled. So
appreciate it, Kirk.
I say a jury of 12, but hey, 12 and a half still looking good, boys.
Hey, whatever. We'll see. All right. Bad week for the boys. All right. We'll figure it out.
4 and 5.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
Hey, we're right there. All right, Kirk. Thanks so much,
Have a good day, bud.
Sad story. All right, let's go to Dane in the Pacific Northwest. Dane, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good. What's up, Dane?
How are you?
So I had a massive disagreement with your guys' ranking yesterday.
Okay.
What was it?
Where do I start?
Whatever you want.
At the top, I guess.
Yeah, I think Ohio State should be higher than Florida State. They probably should be number one, to be honest. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's based on this year. The only ranking reason we would have Georgia or Michigan higher is because of what we think they're going to do because of last year.
Well, let me ask you this. So Dane, you're an Oregon fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Did you expect Bo Nix to have a really good year this year?
Yeah.
Why? Why did you expect that?
Because we have an amazing offensive line and we have a first round.
Well, what did you know about Bo Nix?
Receiver.
What did you know about Bo Nix? You've watched him play before, right?
Contender last year.
Yeah. So
yeah,
hold on. Let me finish, Dane. You said your part. I'm gonna say mine. So you just cited. You thought, you're good. You're good, brother. You're totally fine. You just cited the reason that you thought Bo Nix was going to be good because you had an excellent offensive line. Who returned more offensive linemen, Michigan or Oregon?
Probably Michigan.
Michigan did. So I'm using last year and seeing somebody play and watching them and knowing what they can do. and I'm talking about Michigan here, and projecting that onto this year because it's a proven commodity. Michigan returned their quarterback like Oregon did. Michigan returned more offensive linemen. Michigan basically has the same team almost, minus a couple guys, including the running back position with Blake Corum. So I'm using last year's experience to be able to know what Michigan is. Now, your argument, I think, is a logical argument. I said yesterday, if we were just going on under not taking any experience returning from the year before, I can totally understand Ohio State being number one. But Florida State better be number two, right? Like, you better have Florida State number two. So when I look at the methodology of how you're doing it, Dane, I get it, but I'm not just pulling it out of nowhere saying, oh, I think Michigan is this good, or oh, I think Georgia's this good. Georgia returned some personnel, and I had some questions about Carson Beck, and they've answered it to this point. So to me, it is a mix of what you return from the year before that are proven commodities and how you look this year. I think it's adding all of those up. But I think you can make a logical argument for that.
But my bigger problem, because I think they got the right four teams, we can argue about the order of the four teams, was the Oregon at 8 and Oklahoma at 6 and Texas at 7. Oregon's of the one-loss teams has looked the best of any of them. They have the best loss, the most dominant win.
Oregon has a more dominant win than Texas or Oklahoma? Texas went and beat Bama. Who's Oregon beat? Texas Tech?
Yeah. Texas Tech, they just beat Utah by 28 on the road.
Oh, okay, Utah team. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So what's a better win? Going to beat Utah on the road without Cam Rising or going to Tuscaloosa and beating them?
Okay, yes.
Okay, what's a better win? What's a better win? Going and beating Utah without Cam Rising, or beating the team that went to beat Alabama on the road on a neutral site?
Who's looked more dominant? Who has the better loss? I will agree that Alabama is the better win. The more, I should have said, the more impressive win, I would think, is winning by 28 on the road.
I think the more impressive win is beating Alabama by double digits in Bryant-Denny. That's what I think.
Okay, well, I think that winning by 28 on the road later in the season with the 13th ranked team is more impressive. That's just
then beating.
I think you can make an argument for both. I don't think Alabama's looked the same as Alabama's been in the past.
Who wins Alabama versus Utah this week?
Utah. Hold on, and I don't think Utah's a great team either. I think they're both great wins, but I do think we can sit here and say Oregon's looked like a better team than Texas. I think we can sit here and say that.
I mean, they've looked like a better team than Washington than they beat the last few weeks. This is the same with Oklahoma and Texas too, but they have the head-to-head loss.
Yeah, I'm not arguing they should be over Washington because Washington beat them, even if I think Oregon's look just as good as anybody in the country. I think they should be at 6 because Oklahoma lost to Kansas, so that's why I think they should be ahead of them. Texas, even before Ewers got hurt, struggled against UCF played Oklahoma, so...
But Texas is in the same position y'all are. Texas lost a rivalry game on the last possession of the game.
That's true.
And you can't put Texas above Oklahoma because of the head-to-head loss.
You see what he's saying?
But where I look at it with Texas and Oklahoma is Oklahoma lost to Texas actually has a top 10 win, and they lost to Oklahoma, which is a top 10 team. Oklahoma lost to a barely top 25 team.
Who beat Texas though?
Yeah,
Oklahoma beat Texas.
I know they have the head-to-head though.
Texas beat Kansas 48-10.
Or something. The head-to-head, the head-to-head matters.
Yeah, the head-to-head matters more. I mean, look, I think here's what it comes down to. I think they all three have a chance. I just think Texas and Oklahoma both have a better win than Oregon, right? We can sit here and argue. I think Oregon's loss at Washington is probably a better loss. But if we're going to look at the same record, I'm going to take the team with the better win over the team with the better loss, right?
See, I take the team that overall has been more dominant this season. That's
but
why
okay. Okay, so Texas Tech's 3-6. You beat them by 8 on the road, right? You dominated Colorado at home. You dominated Stanford.
No, they had Tyler Show then. You're talking about Texas Tech.
Hold on. Who lost to what? Tyler Show, who lost to Wyoming the week before?
Who Texas almost was losing to at some point.
But again, but they beat him though. Like what I'm saying is, so we're gonna sit. I think Dane, and listen, I think there is a path to what you're arguing with Oregon. I just don't think you're arguing it the right way. I mean, if we're gonna sit here, if we're gonna sit here and argue over who struggled with who and whatever, well, Oregon's played. After Utah, they've played 3 ranked teams. I think Texas has played about the same. I think Oklahoma's played about the same. They got the same record. 2 teams have a better win than the other. But the great part is we're going to see.
Yeah. If we're talking about teams being more dominant at who they play, then Michigan should be number 1.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And that's where it comes back to these, the criteria is a collection of different things that include subjectivity. Yeah. Whereas in the NFL, you can just say the winner of the division is in. Yep. I don't care if they're not as good as the 3rd best team in a different division or something like that.
Dane, I love great call. I love the conversation.
But Oregon's schedule down the stretch is the biggest thing to get excited about.
Yeah,
Washington has a lot tougher schedule. Then you could win a rematch in the conference championship, which Texas could do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Oregon wins, they're in. That's the way it's set up with the ranking.
I agree. If they win out and win the Pac-12, I think 100% they're
100%. We agree on that one.
I think Big 12 needs help.
Like I said before. I think you could very easily get a 2-loss Big 12 team.
100%. Thanks for calling, Dane. Thanks,
Dane.
Man.
Good, great call.
All right, let's go to Randy Denver Gator in Alabama.
Woo! Let's go.
Those Denver Gators.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Randy?
How you doing, bud?
Hey, special day. Happy birthday, Jake.
Thank you.
Kid.
I heard the other day you said it on one of the shows, and I was like, I'm determined to call in today because it was my sister Amber's birthday today as well.
Oh wow! Well, tell her I said happy birthday and congrats on leveling up.
Yeah, definitely leveling up. And also, my youngest sister, is starting her first semester at Southern Alabama.
Wow. Hey. Well, good. Loving it down there in Mobile. I know all those places. Well, tell her I said congrats.
Yeah, I just want you to give my sister Jamie go Jags.
Definitely. Definitely. Go, you said Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie, go Jags.
Yeah, go Jags. Let's get the belt, baby.
Go Jags, Jamie.
Let's get the belt tonight.
USA.
Back to back.
Yeah, so you guys out of Mobile?
Nashville. You talking about where we're from or where we're shooting the show from?
Where are you shooting the show from?
Yeah, Nashville.
Baby. The Ville.
Oh, I thought you guys were like in Mobile area or something like that.
Man, I'd be at Bluegill here in about 3 or 4 hours getting some of that tuna dip if I was.
All right, so I'm gonna cut it short. But I spent the last 11 years in either Albuquerque or Denver, Colorado, and as Blaine probably knows best, college football is an afterthought out in those parts. You know, they got the Lobos and the Aggies, the Root 4. And,
I love wrestling up there.
Yeah.
College wrestling, man. They love it.
So it's hard to root for teams and everything like that. So I was born and raised in the South. I got back down here, found you guys a couple weeks before the season started, and, man, I was thirsty. And you guys gave me exactly what I wanted. I don't like that hot take, zombie-minded, cult following, ESPN, clickbait nonsense. I get all my good stuff from guys like you.
Oh, Randy, thank you, man.
That. And real quick, Cone, this one's for you. My sister Amber, whose birthday is today, her fiance is the most diehard Michigan fan.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Amber married a good one.
They're everywhere.
And I'd love for you to give him and her go blue because he has brainwashed her into being a Michigan fan now.
Brainwashed or brought her to the good side? What's his name? What's this good gentleman's name?
Jim?
His name is Mike.
Mike, you're out there doing the Lord's work, sir. Mike and Amber, go blue. Yeah. We're innocent of all charges.
Mike probably stole your signs.
Randy,
innocent until proven
Stole your
guilty.
signs, Amber. That's how the way you got to
Why is Connor Stallion
out there
standing
doing
outside
the
your front
Lord's
yard
work,
staring at you with glasses that record stuff? Randy, thanks so
great
much,
call.
buddy.
Appreciate it, man.
We really appreciate it.
Guys.
Love you,
Hey,
dude.
hey, we got love for you too. my
Denver
friend.
Gator, man.
Thank you so much, man. That's what we like to hear. Look, when it comes to hot takes, there's stuff I believe in that it's a lot of different than what other people believe in. I'm gonna tell you what I really think. If that turns into a quote unquote hot take, then it does. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, what is the craziest thing I could think about? They're like, all right, wait. What if, no, it's just
You're a flat earther.
You're a flat earther, dude.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
All right, we got a lot of guys on here from Texas. I want to try and get to all of them. Let's start with Michael in Texas. What's up, man?
Good morning, guys. And
Mike, what's up?
I'm not that Mike that you guys were just talking about. I'm already married.
Okay, good.
I'm not that Mike. Let's just get that out of the way first. Second,
I don't know. Rumor has it you are that.
That's
Mike.
something that Mike would definitely
Yeah,
say.
Mike would definitely say that. No, but thanks, man. I appreciate it.
anytime. And I don't know if you guys can be quiet and just listen for a close second. You can hear all of DFW blasting Creed to 11 because World Series champs.
Look, that's why the Rangers won was because of Creed.
Without a doubt.
World Series champs, baby. I got something for you
Hey, play
here.
it.
Hold on, Michael. Let that sink in.
I wonder if we can get to perform live in studio.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. But I will say this real quick. Game one, when Adolis Garcia hit that walk-off, I don't know if you guys heard some of these facts about that hit, but that happened 12 years ago to the day that David Freese and for St. Louis broke Texas' heart in Game 6 of that World Series in 2011. 12 years ago to the day. So the other thing too, he had the record for the most RBIs in the postseason.
Yeah,
Garcia broke that record with that walk-off home run.
Wow.
And Garcia was drafted by the Cardinals when he got into the league.
See, baseball does that, man. It's like when the blood moon lines up with the harvest. Like it just stuff happens. It's weird.
I know. I heard that and I got goosebumps hearing that. Like that's insane. How can it's amazing how that can happen. I'll line up like that. Now I want to keep it short so I don't give everyone else some time, but the whole college football playoff rankings. I know you guys talked about how Kirby Smart and Georgia would be motivated for being ranked number 2. I tell you what, for this past week plus, and that game dropped from 2 to 3. I don't know what the spread is on the Michigan Purdue game, but
32, and I'm pounding.
No, it's not enough.
Pounding it. Pound it, Michael.
Double that to 64.
Yeah. It's a Nintendo out here.
They're going to come out with a vengeance.
Yeah, they will.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's going to be something to behold. And I have trouble speaking about it because as a Michigan fan, it's been exhausting the last couple of weeks hearing all this nonsense about Harbaugh and sign stealing and all this other stuff. There's only one way you can go out there and prove them wrong, and it's just to continue to dominate like you've always
beat
done.
Everyone.
And
beat everyone.
And then Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State, Big Ten title game. If we make it there, we're just gonna play. We're gonna play like we have something to prove, and we already had that motivation to begin with. And thank you to all the media. Thank you to ESPN. Thank you to all these guys. You just gave us a lot more fuel.
For sure.
Appreciate it, Michael. Go Blue, brother.
Thanks, Mike.
And go Rangers. All right, let's get to Noble. Hey, Noble's in Texas. Hey, we got 20 seconds here, man.
Hey, guys.
What's up? What up?
Hey. I just let you know I have not slept since last night.
Good.
And I stayed up through the rest of the night to just make sure I made this call. So I'm going to make this quick.
Go ahead.
First of all, shout out to David for hopping on and carrying us. He got there before Creed did. So let him know that Cone got us there.
Hashtag the reason.
My Rangers shirt. Keep going, brother.
Next thing is, hey, Houston, if you can hear like Creed and DFW, but you can hear the wails and the gnashing of teeth down in West Louisiana or Houston or whatever the city they call it down there, because they're just seething right now.
Man.
The dynasty is dead, and our farm system is way better than anything they got going on. We got, hey, you guys follow college baseball, Jack Leitner, Kumar, all those guys are ready to roll in the next couple of years.
I mean, heck, Josh Young, you got guys that are young on there right now. Garcia, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me when Bama went on their run and then Auburn won the Natty in 2010, like right in the middle of like Alabama's like renaissance.
Dynasty.
It's like that one.
Stop. Our time.
Go ahead.
Oh no! I was just saying. You go. I go on.
Oh no! That's what it reminds me of.
Hey, is this the noble guy in the chat?
One and only. But hey, we got a new call sign brewing up. Thanks to you, actually.
What is it?
I don't know if someone's already came up with it or not. I think we're gonna go with Dragon Slayer.
The Dragon Slayer.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, we'll see how long that.
Get ready tomorrow.
Hey,
I love it.
I really liked you until you started speaking.
I said that first.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, he's got that
Great
Valerian.
call,
All right, appreciate it, Noble.
Thanks, buddy. Call back. Congrats on the World Series.
All right, Clint in Fort Worth, you got 10 seconds to take your victory lap too.
All right, boys. Real quick story. So 13 years ago, when the Rangers won their first pennant, my fiance and I were prepping to get married the very next day. Wow. So we left the venue. We went and spent the night separately like you do. And me and my buddies went to the bar, went to Chili's that was there in town.
Oh, nice.
And we watched Nepali Feliz strike out A-Rod looking to win the pennant, go to the World Series. You know, everybody's excited. I get married the next day. 13 years later, still married to my same beautiful wife.
Rangers still sleep in separate rooms.
In the World Series.
I'm just kidding.
This is incredible. This is a feeling that I'd lost from, a couple of years ago with everything turning the way it did. Y'all brought it back for me. I don't get to have this feeling, this elation without finding y'all. So I want to just say thank y'all for making me love sports again and letting me being able to enjoy this again.
Yeah.
Because man, there for a long time, I quit watching sports completely. And it's just such a unique thing that sports provides and gives the people.
For sure. And we need that. We need that. Well,
yeah.
Clint, congratulations, man. Thanks so much for the kind words. And that's the reason, we do the show. I really appreciate it.
What a great
story.
story.
We started it, 3 years ago. And because sports, it doesn't need to be like everything else. It needs to be separated from everything else so everybody can enjoy it. And, when your team does well, because the great part about sports is the ups and downs, right? That's what makes, the great times are so great because the bad times and the down times are so down. But Clint, that means the world. Tell your beautiful wife, that we said hello and congrats on 13 years, man.
Celebrate this win, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Happy birthday, Jake.
Hey, thanks, and I appreciate it, buddy. Love it.
Give it up to the Rangers fans real quick.
Yeah.
And all the Rangers fans, congratulations, y'all.
You do
Congratulations.
You do love to see it. All right. Speaking about loving to see it, I'm going to head over to the bets, and then I get to open my presents after. I'm super excited about that. But, Blondie, what's going on?
But 1 second. Go ahead and roll through these bets. I'm trying to pull up these donations for the day.
God, I love when it takes time to pull up all the donations for the day. That's always a good thing. All right, here's what I got tonight. After Akron yesterday found a way to push the -4.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. But then Scott Leffler, Professor Speed Sweep at the 1.
What are you doing?
Run it again, genius.
I knew 3.5.
Run it again, genius.
Dead to us.
I knew 3.5 wasn't enough.
Oh, you're on the board. That's exactly right. And those stupid-ass Hogwarts-looking glasses you wear. So tonight, give me Troy -3 at home. I hate to go against the alma mater, South Alabama.
Worked for you last time.
Troy's a really good football team, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I got a bet right now on DraftKings. I did a future with Troy winning the Sun Belt.
You're on the lights,
teams to win like $4,000. So I need Troy to keep doing it. And then I'm going to go a little parlay on the second one. I'm going to go Duke money line, right? Got to believe. And then give me Texas Tech -2.5. I
like that.
Field goal in overtime to win it. You parlay those together. Those are plus 129, David.
I like that. I'm going to go TCU, Texas Tech over 59.5. Blaine has me second guessing in a little bit with what he said earlier, but I'm going to go with the over, and that's at -110. And then South Alabama, Troy over as well, over 45, -108.
All right, look, a little 2-0 day yesterday. Love taking overs in games like these. So, look, this is what I'm going to take today. I'm loving Duke minus 12.5 against this Wake Forest team. This Wake Forest team is not good. And I think Duke's going to show up on both sides of the ball. And then, look, there's certain feelings you get when it comes to bets like these. And look, today's game, Thursday Night Football, already did. Apparently, I do have autism, but hey, we'll see how it is.
Yeah, you do.
I love Okonkwo for the first touchdown tonight. I really do. It's going off at plus 2,000. All right. We're going to put a little bread on it. I think Will Levis's Pittsburgh offense have been playing great lately. I think Will Levis gets down there. I think they're trying to hit a big shot to hop. It's double, and I think Okonkwo maybe on the 15 to the 20 on a drag catches and goes scores for the Titans. So that's what I'm going with today. #believe.
I love the Steelers' defense first touchdown score.
What are the chances Will Levis throws 4 touchdowns again on the road in Pittsburgh?
To the Steelers?
Yeah.
He may throw 4 to the Steelers. Oh, look, I'm rooting for Will. I would love to be wrong in that situation. I just still don't believe yet. Ace, he's going to go Texas Tech money line at minus 148, and then Duke, Wake Forest under 45. That's at minus 110.
I think we have a video for Jake. Do we have a video?
We have a video?
Play for Jake's birthday?
Oh, my God.
Yes, we do. Please play this.
Well, I just heard the news today.
I really feel it.
That it's your birthday. And that's so great. And I just wanted to say, don't forget. No, never forget.
Never forget, y'all.
That it's your birthday.
Yes.
That was great.
It's really well done. If you're on audio, you got to see the memes that are.
I need that video
the
file.
Collection. I need a collage of memes. We just need like a big collage right next to the dead people board. People that are dead to us.
All right, let's get to these donations. The King Darth Dave with the $50 donation. David, can you hit that money sign?
Everybody run!
You want the money sign?
Run! We're rich.
Cha-ching, baby. Appreciate it. He says, bless level update, Jake.
Thank you.
Thank you for the smiles, especially after the passing of Coach Knight.
Yeah.
Hail to the victors. Really wish you would stop angering Clemson before they play the Irish. Check out the big South Dakota State versus North Dakota State.
Yeah.
I believe that game this
Hell of a
weekend.
game. Yeah, R.I.P. to Bob Knight.
Rest in peace, man.
One of the
So
best.
83 years old.
We're just losing great ones, man. We really are. Let's go to Hiking Elevated $5 donation. Utah had 7 starters gone with season-ending injuries, not including Cam. Future is bright for my Utes. Also, Jake is a damn French spy. You're damn right.
No, I'm not. First off,
You're damn right he is.
First off, no, I'm not. And second off, no, I'm not.
Let's go to Will Hyatt with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Will. Bigger World Series contributor, David Cohn or Creed?
David Cohn.
You think so?
David
You're
Cohn.
not going to go with
Definitely.
the music in the locker room?
You were there first.
That is
Creed
true.
copied you.
Golly, look
All right, let's go to Colson Duggins, $5 donation. Appreciate it, Cole. So I'm not an English lawyer, but at least in American court, the prosecution would definitely have shot to prove manslaughter against this guy.
Manslaughter, yes. Murder, like
Is it
premeditation.
accidental homicide? That would have to be it, right?
Is it accidental or incidental?
I think both would fall
I'm not a
under
lawyer. I mean, I have
manslaughter.
Let's go to Ryan Gay, $2 donation. Appreciate it, Rhino. Happy level update to our favorite French spy. See you, Jake. Let's see you. Let's go to, I think I've hit that. Justin Decker, are we talking up or lower? $5 donation. Appreciate it, Justin. Jake, happy birthday. As the OG to the show, just wanted to say thank you. And I would encourage people to check out the original interviews you did. It's great, absolutely. Let's go to Mike RFF. It's a lifestyle, baby. Last one for the day, $5 donation. Happy birthday, brother. Booster Club from the beginning, and I appreciate you all. Even though you might be a French spy, Jake. Have a good day.
Oh. All right, look, I appreciate it, guys. It's been a great birthday so far, and it's only just getting started. What do we got for the poll?
Poll.
Is
Dabo Swinney a Karen?
A Karen?
Yes or no?
Why are you out here using racial slurs, man?
Why not?
Isn't that a racial slur?
Is there like a country of like Karenia or something I don't know about?
I think would you ever call
that's Rhode Island.
Like you only call like white women Karens, right?
No, I didn't know it was just.
I thought
I didn't know it just was one race.
Is it?
No, I thought Karen was just
a mindset.
asshole old people.
Yeah.
Have you ever called a non-white person a Karen?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay. So
Have you not?
I don't think so.
David, are you
David,
the racist?
Are you racist against white old ladies?
I don't think so.
I'm going to say they said yes, 54%.
No. Dabo Swinney's out here preaching the truth. He should just not do it.
Yes. 65.
Slaughter.
He just looks like a Karen, too.
No, 35%.
Definitely. Well, we appreciate you guys. Best audience out there. Got a great show for you tomorrow. Got Tim Brando coming on. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you keep sharing it. Check out Indochino. Check out Black Rifle Coffee. All of our great sponsors. Thanks to everybody who donated. Thanks to everybody who called. Make sure you get your calls in tomorrow as well.
Jose, that's a Conquo. He's the tight end.
A Conquo.
The Titans.
Conquo. And just like me,
Getting
aging,
old.
We're going. Gotta catch.
Happy birthday.
God.
Gone.